And welcome back to the Splitting Hairs podcast presented by Jackrabbit Illustrated. A special edition tonight. You have just Matt and Chad with you tonight. No Kyle. So I know many of you love the insight of Kyle. Watch our numbers just plummet right away, Chad.
Yeah, well, I'm not A-team material. I'm sit in the back and watch.
So. You're great. You're great. So again, we are coming off a big victory over Missouri State. We previewed that last week and had a blast doing that. But it was even more fun watching them walk away with the victory. So we'll get into that in just a little bit. Need to talk about here quick our premier sponsors, Drake's Place of Bowdle and Cottonwood Coffee of Brookings and worldwide now.
Worldwide.
So Drake's Place, again, if you find yourself up there heading to the river, going hunting, whatever it is this fall, or you're just in the area for sports, whatever it might be, stop by Drake's Place, fill up on the goodies. They came up with their fall menu, and I highlighted this on Facebook because dang, it looks good. So many good burger options. And Chad, I'm not sure if you saw this, but Mrs. Drake's Place commented that they're going to bring some Club 71 sandwiches for the USD game in a couple weeks. So that's going to be good. Yeah.
They always bring us great food at tailgating. And I know it's not the A1 fresh that they'd like it to be like it is in their store, but it is outstanding. It is always second to none. Shared their menu the other day on Facebook. They got so many options, and they got a full convenience store and gas. So I mean, it's kind of the one stop in Bowdle if you've ever been up there, and you probably haven't, but I have, and it's a great place with great atmosphere too. So
awesome. Well, good. And so our other premier sponsor we got to hit on is Cottonwood, and usually Kyle takes care of Cottonwood. He knows the ins and outs of their deal right now. But here's what I know about Cottonwood. They have delicious coffee and delicious food. I was in Brookings last spring for 3 or 4 days. Every morning I went to Cottonwood and got something different, whether it was an omelet or a quiche or a scone. Their coffee, it was all good. Their pancakes, plate size pancakes are just amazing. And now you can get coffee shipped to your house, and at select Walmart locations, their coffee is located. So pretty good deal. And Chad, you got something?
Enjoy your Cottonwood coffee in the mornings like I do. It's the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone that's tagging us in your pictures when you go there and get your coffee. That's kind of cool to see.
We appreciate that. And we just got to get Cottonwood Coffee to have a Twitter presence. That's the only thing you're missing.
Oh, right. Good.
Yeah,
call.
I want to tag them in our posts when we upload these videos, but it's them and Drake's. We need you guys. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. All right. So let's get into the game from yesterday. And what a performance. Jackrabbits come out victorious 28-14 over Missouri State, who, was top 5 ranked, depending on the polls that you were looking at. Really, though, just a very, very good performance, a very good team win for the Jackrabbits, I'd say. And this is a team that came in averaging 30 points per game. 30 points per game. 307 yards per game passing is what they came in before us.
And if you look at the first half numbers, man, we really took it to them in the first half. They were not ready for our defense.
What was it? 37 total yards, 38 total yards?
37 total yards, 0 points. Yep. But Bobby Petrino, as Brendan pointed out, I sat and watched the game with him. He said coming into that second half, he's like, man, Petrino is one of the best coaches on earth. He really is. Other than his motorcycle accident, shout out to or the Rev on that. But other than that, he's going to make some adjustments, and I really hope we can adjust back. And that's what happened. I mean, they came out, kind of took their punches, and we had to readjust. So kudos to Jimmy and Lujan. Excuse me, Coach Rogers and Coach Lujan. My apologies, guys. I know I don't know you on a first name basis, so my apologies.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm sure they don't mind. Dudes. So Jimmy's defense,
man,
wow,
I like it.
and to think they're playing without three of their top players, or three potential starters, and Caleb Franzel, Isaiah Stalbert, Brian Williams, Chase Norblade on the back end. Let's make it 4. I mean, my goodness, and they're still that good and that deep. A lot of players played yesterday. And one thing that I am impressed with, I came into the season with tons of questions about our secondary, specifically the cornerbacks. We've seen Dyshawn and Malik for a couple of years now, and we had just graduated Don Gardner. And yesterday, Ty Scott, all Missouri Valley, came in, 19 receptions, 320 yards, 4 TDs, 2 receptions for -2 yards. Ridiculous. Yep. What a performance. Was he the one that got drilled by Stephen RL?
I don't think it was him, but that was a heck of a hit, though.
Ooh. Yeah, our cornerbacks just really bullied those guys. They're wide receivers. If they caught the ball on those little flare screens, bubble screens, whatever, our corners just did an awesome job being physical with them.
I was so busy watching the lines, I didn't really pay attention to them unless the ball got thrown out that way. But did you happen to see were they really like giving them some bump on the?
Yes, yep, they were playing close. That's what I really like to see.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, because our defensive line just annihilated the Bear offensive line. Shelley was,
and traditionally we play 7 yards back on the outside, so it's really nice to see that, and it was really effective. So whatever we did there will work, and this game in particular has me really excited because, like you, the secondary was a question mark. That's kind of a holdover from last year. It's like, you're automatically a top 20 team if you're a top 20 last year. We've got some of the same players. We lose Don Gardner, who was really good. And, we didn't know these guys were really going to come into their own the way they have. And it's really excellent to see that they really have taken it on and really took it to heart.
Yep. And still, I have some concerns still. Another busted coverage. 3rd week in a row we've had that.
Was that the backers assignment on that one too?
Yeah, right. I have no idea.
I don't know, but I bet we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. That replay again, they had the end zone cam, and you could see on that replay, the end zone cam, Tucker Large was on the field at that point at safety, and had no idea the ball was flying over his head for that touchdown. He was watching one of the cornerbacks and wide receivers had collided.
Yep.
So it's pretty funny. Jordan Fink comment here, really loving the calm of the team. No panic at all when Missouri State tied the game. Just kept playing each play, knowing good things would happen. Yes. This team, I don't know if it's Mark's presence or just how many seniors are on it or what, but man, they stayed calm. It was awesome. It was great.
Speaking of Mark, it was really excellent to see Mark really come back into form, make some excellent darts. He had some just great passes. I love how we utilized our tight end in the game. I mean, I have a ton of positives on this game. The only negative, you know what it's going to be. And it needs to get resolved. Like it's starting to get to the point in the season where it's really going to matter in a game.
Yep. And Chad is talking about penalties. We'll let him go on that in a second here. But I want to talk about Mark. This was his best game easily this season. He was phenomenal. He was named Missouri Valley Offensive Player of the Week today, and he looked incredible. His passing, again, what his exact stat line was just, let me pull it up here really quick. 22 of 29, 319 yards, 4 touchdowns. Only was sacked once, and it was on a busted play. Someone asked me on SDSU Fans if I thought it was his best game of his career. I think it was his best passing game of his career, definitely. I don't know if statistically that holds out, but dang, he looked good. On that first touchdown, I think, second touchdown, when they were heading towards the south. And he there was a post right into the corner. He looked the safety over and then came across and hit one of the Yankees for the touchdown. Yep. Just beautiful. I mean, that looked like a All-American level play right there. Just how he manipulated the defense was phenomenal. So
and to Randy Jacobs' point, Shelley was hearing footsteps in the fourth quarter, and I think that's how Mark was able to make Shelley look more mundane. I don't know how to say that right, because that guy's a stud no matter what. And it showed even in what little he was able to be effective. But Mark obviously stood out as the better quarterback in this particular game.
Yeah. And a lot of that, I mean, and we have to give credit, right? The 605 Hogs pass blocking, and this is something Kyle wanted us to say. The offensive line pass pro'd better than they have all year. I think that's absolutely true. That right side of the line with Burnson at guard and O'Brien at tackle, looked really good together, pass blocking. Still have some work to do in the run game, but pass blocking, man, they looked good.
Well, they've had a lot of different actors on the right side of the line, and I'd like to say that that's the only place we've had any issues, but if these guys can start to gel as a unit a little more and get, like you said, the run block going a little better, boy, watch out, because if they can be as good as our pass lines have been with the other weapons that Mark has and how he's really playing, goodness sakes, we got a heck of a team.
Yeah, Darren, I really agree. The intermediate passing game, and that's something that maybe was missing, or just some of the timing. I'm not sure what Missouri State's defense was different about that versus our previous games. I wish Kyle or Dallas were here for that, but I agree. Like the short intermediate routes, and one thing I really liked was mixing the Yankees into the run game on those end rounds and jet sweeps and things like that. That's something we haven't seen a lot of in a little bit. I loved it. So
and if that doesn't get broke up right at the point where Mark's under center, that toss end around, I think that was going to be a touchdown. Like, they were not ready for it. Credit to their nose guard or right tackle, whoever that was, but he got in and stripped that ball before he could even really get it turned around. And they got some playmakers too. They're not a bad team by any means. I am afraid we're going to see them again on our side of the bracket if we make it that far. So potential rematch up there, and it's hard to beat a good team like that twice.
Yeah, they were fed to Fargo last year in the playoff bracket. And we know as you move further west and there's fewer and fewer teams in this Midwest area, those of us that are in the regional Midwest do eat each other a lot of times in the bracket. So
controversial take. I think if those two teams play, it might be Missouri State.
Yeah.
Fargo did not look good against the run on the outside, and we did not see much run on Missouri State until this game, and they were pretty effective with it in that second half.
Jordan, the radio broadcast mentioned Davis battling a shoulder injury. Any knowledge on that? I haven't heard that. Wouldn't shock me that he's banged up. He did look more like himself this week. I think he definitely ran with a little more power.
He ran over some dudes.
Yep. So we'll see. Preston, a total team win, coaches included, better play calling, continue to get better. Yeah. Yep.
I love the aggressiveness, the way Lujan's calling the plays. We talked about it in the group chat. I agree 100% with what we're doing there. So keep up the good work, Coach Lujan and staff.
Yep. And I think, that Iowa game again, we have to honestly forget about that.
Got to flush that one.
Because the punting situation, the field position, we've talked about it. We've beat that horse to death. But he did what he could do in that situation. I can't fault him. The other two games, UC Davis and Butler, that's why you have the non-conference schedule to work out those kinks and to kind of figure out what works, what doesn't. And obviously we saw the result of that, I think, against Missouri State here. So Preston, did you make the game? I know you guys are down in Missouri. Were you at the game, Preston? So
yeah, let us know. I know some people are going to look at the results of the UC Davis game with Weber State and think, well, yada, yada, yada. We talked about it a little bit on Twitter. Our game was well in hand till the end there. So I wouldn't put a lot of stock into that, other than Weber is a legit team. Yep. That is the takeaway with that game. They're a very good team. I think UC Davis wins a majority of the rest of their games. That might be their only only losses that they have for the rest of the season.
Yep.
Potentially. I don't know what their schedule is. So
yeah, the rest of their schedule is a little softer. So Tammy, the Hogs looked really good. The one break, but looked stout. Yep. And again, I think that one breakdown, that was a broken play. So I don't, I don't know why Gus was 5 yards deep there and on the ground and tangled up with Mark and the defender. Like that was just a mess. So
we only had one bad snap, but we really need to limit those to 0. So keep working on that, I guess. That was the only thing that like stood out to me as a real negative on the offense. I do love how we came out with the wide open set right away. That was awesome.
Hey, and I think their team was jacked. You know, we played that first half like a team that has played in these top 5 matchups before. They played like the over aggressive team that was hyped up out of their mind for the game. I think they over pursued a lot on defense. And I think that opening kickoff when we lateraled the ball, that was genius because that they were going to come flying out and be looking to headhunt, make a big play, get that crowd fired up, which we'll talk about their game day operations a little bit.
Well, maybe they ran out of water on the sidelines before the end of the first half.
Yeah.
I know they ran out of water underneath on the stands, which is a travesty when it's that warm.
Yep,
we'd be ranting if it was our team.
Yes. Garrett Meyer, the all whites looked sweet. Yes, they did. Yes. Thank you, JFPA, for those helmets again. The team is undefeated in them. We've worn them now 3 weeks in a row, so I don't know if we can call them our alternate helmets anymore, but they do look good. That's for sure. Yes. Great seeing the young secondary make plays week after week. Great recruiting. And that's something. Thank you, Lonnie, for bringing that up. I wrote this in Rants and Raves. I just, as someone who follows recruiting, really loved that Kobe Herter and Matthew Durant's got their first interceptions in the same game. They were 2 very highly regarded recruits, Kobe from Texas, Matthew from Florida. And I think we're going to see a lot of picks from them over the next 4 years together. Very, very good players. So
that was a gift to Herter. Like, he's just like, oh, the ball's here. Oh, let's run.
So during the game and the tweets, I said he played that perfectly. Like Shelley, he left Shelley like without like a good option. And Shelley, I think, panicked and just threw it to him. But after the game, he goes on the radio. Did you listen to it? He's like, I was running up. Yeah, I was trying to give his help. Yeah.
So he's like, next thing I know, the ball's in me. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I thought I was giving him too much credit. I
think he's going to get dogged a bit in practice by the guys for getting ran down by the quarterback. But let's be honest, Shelley's a heck of an athlete. So.
Yeah. So, and to his point too, Cale Reeder, played a really good game out there. We did see Tucker Large. We're gonna have to figure out what happened on that touchdown. But the young corners again, Dyshawn and Malik obviously, but Steven, Arel, and Dallas Beanham played a lot as well. You saw those 2 out there. I don't know. This all this talk about recruiting, the depth of the roster, quite impressive. Scott Russ says, I think that was on full display yesterday. You saw a lot of players on the defensive side of the ball running in and out. So, on offense, I think we trusted our lead dogs yesterday. Only 3 receivers had receptions, the Yankees and Zach Hines, and then Isaiah Davis, so 4. But we trusted the big dogs to bring that one home yesterday on offense, and they did. So
I mean, it's a classic case of put the ball in the playmaker's hands. So
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that. We had a couple swing passes on second down that were perfectly executed. They were at the right time. They weren't on third down and long. So, I got to hear a little bit about that from Brendan.
Yep.
And if we're doing it then at second down, I'm all for it, right?
Hey, there you go.
Let's just leave it for that,
Yep.
Hey,
let's talk about this. This is something that's come up a little bit. Hunter Dustman is doing too much. Just place kick and find anyone to punt the ball.
I disagree 100%, but
Okay.
that's just me.
I
I think
it through.
Well, I don't think Hunter, he had a bad day, right? Like, but he's been really good outside of this one game. It's an anomaly. I don't know what was going on. It seems like he was striking the ball not quite right. And maybe it's because Keaton was back holding again this week. So we did have a change at a holder. We know how that can affect things. So I'm giving the guy a pass. Like, if it would have cost us the game, I'd been more upset about it. But
sure.
9 points, and one of them definitely wasn't his fault. It got blocked.
Yeah.
I did see they were loading what would have been our left, I believe. They were loading that very heavily. They had like guys shoulder to shoulder.
Yep.
So they saw something on film that they wanted to do that with. I don't think that's what they normally do. Maybe it is, but it appeared effective, and we didn't really have an answer. So,
so so Kyle commented on this. He said, "Snaps and holds are great. On the block kicked, the left guard had his head down, and then the left tackle got annihilated. So that's what you saw. The left side really got blasted.
Yeah, I thought it was
hard.
Our left. Yeah.
And so once you get one block, that does mess with your psyche. I think Jordan's clarifying here. Workload is too much. I would like to see Jack Green do on kickoffs. We saw Jack Green.
I'll agree with that
because last week, and he booted it out of the back of the end zone on both of them.
And if he can do that consistently, when we're playing a team with returners like what Missouri State has, there's no reason not to boot it out of the end zone just every time, unless it's a win thing. I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot not to do that. In fact, we should probably do that no matter who we're playing.
Yep. And then I do wonder on punts too, if every once in a while Drotzman could come in and boom one. I don't know about consistency, but that one he kicked against Butler, he sure as heck gave it a ride. So, but the coaches see it all the time in practice. They know about the consistency, the hang time, being able to directional kick. So that's tough because we get to see them for a few kicks a week versus how many ever kicks, the dozens of kicks they actually, do get to kick. Yeah. And that's Garrett. Good point. The 50-yarder, like that's always a crapshoot. Who knows?
So 50%. really, if we discount that one, we discount the one that got blocked. He had one bad kick. Yeah, because he was perfect on PATs. And so, I mean, like I said, the guy's going to get a bit of grace from me anyway.
Yep. All right. I talked a little bit about Hines just briefly, but what a great game for him. I don't know. He's been a little quieter than I expected with Tucker being out this year. Did you think he was maybe a point of emphasis this week? Like just getting him the ball or just a good matchup?
Well, it didn't sound like it in the after interview, but I don't know. I think so. I was hoping for this because I was saying to Brennan before the game that Hines has shown over the years how soft of hands he has. He's just got excellent hands. Obviously, his catch radius is insane. The dude's excellent. He's going to play in the NFL too. I felt like we've been underutilizing him specifically. And so for me, it was really good to see him get all the touches. And people don't have an answer for 6'7".
Yeah,
it's just comes down to that, if nothing else.
Yep. Hey, so we've been pretty rosy here, Chad. We got to get to a couple of the negative things. Do you want to? I'll take care of. I'll lead into this because this is one of mine. So I love what Jason Freeman has brought to this team. The physicality he plays with, just the physicality, and the speed. I mean, he's a hell of a football player.
Indeed.
But the taunting yesterday that really jump started Missouri State's offense. We just can't have that. Can't have that at all. And I hope that the team recognizes that how close they are on some of the taunting, unsportsmanlike conduct stuff. It just has to stop.
It's all over the map. It drives me nuts. You're doing your job. It's fine to be excited. I'm not saying don't be excited at all, but walk away a little bit, then get excited. Maybe go to the sidelines if it's a final play, like you're changing defense, offense. but we just got to quit it. We don't need to get up and do first down every time for a photo op. Love the Yankees, but that could be construed as taunting. You take a guy out at the knees and you get jacked up. I kind of understand it, but then he's laying down on the field and you look like an asshole. That's what it comes down to. So maybe take a beat, get excited with your teammates in the huddle or something. It's just it costs us. There's no real good to come from it. And it drives me insane.
Yep. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Coach Stig brought it up in some of his media availability. One of the Yankees, spinning the ball and then hitting the gritty against Butler. That can't happen because that got flagged against UND last year. I know B team, you touched on it.
Yeah, he said with the wrong crew, that's going to get flagged.
Yep.
So, and this crew was the wrong crew for a lot of things.
Yep.
Are we going to talk about the officiating a little bit on this one?
If you'd like to, you sure can.
Is this a good time? Should we segue into it?
Yeah.
I don't know what targeting is in college football. I don't know at all because I thought there were decent plays until I saw the replay and I'm like, oh, the dude put his head down. That's clearly targeting. And then it was booth initiated. The guy put his head down, clearly targeting, and they come back and say, oh, no, we're good. Yeah. Twice. I thought for sure we were losing a safety. I don't know what else to say, but I was flabbergasted both times. The only thing I can say is we both got away with one.
Yep.
Okay, fine.
Yep. So yeah, Graham Spalding, as soon as they showed the replay, it was like, that's like the textbook definition, it seemed like.
And I love Graham and all, but he seems to be a guy that he gets flagged for that a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. He needs to keep his head up. That's got to be what it is. Just keep your head up, bro.
And then Missouri State's wide receiver on that crackback, Larry Sanders,
clear to the temple. It was obvious, and I'm
launched with it.
They must have angles that we couldn't see. That's the only explanation.
I don't know, man.
Or they knew they got the first one wrong and said, this is about the same as the first one, so we're gonna just let it slide.
Yeah,
but it's weird because it was booth reviewed. Those are the first two. That the booth is called that I can recall in our games, not called on the field and then overturned or not overturned. Right. It was we saw something in the booth that we think was targeting, right? And and I would think that it would be left with the booth, but then it must go down to the field official, the referee, to make that choice at that point.
He doesn't ever look at a screen, does he? I'm pretty sure he's just on a headset the whole time.
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's all booth. Okay, I think. Well. Anyone else? Any comments on that? Because maybe we're wrong.
No, I think it's all booth. The first time I'm married. I'm never wrong. Just every day.
Well, I know. So in Brookings, the booth is actually over in Frost, the control center.
Yeah.
And so
that's where all the Daktronics equipment is, and so all that's over there.
So on the targeting, I do need to publicly apologize to one of our followers and also Jackrabbit fan, Colin Swartos. We had a little bit of a heated Twitter exchange in the moment about targeting. So
Colin, know that we are emotional fans. We're human. We make mistakes. We love our team, and we think our opinion's right in the heat of the moment, and then we go back and say, maybe not.
Yeah. So if you listen to this, Colin, thanks for the passionate dialogue there. So yeah. What else can we talk about, Chad, for this game?
Well, I mean, Randy Jacobs here says the unsportsmanlike penalty for pulling off Mark's helmet in the pile must be one of the dumbest penalties in the history of football. I would counter with the fact that I have never in my life seen anybody get hurt playing through a play when their helmet comes off, but that was a penalty, and I would argue that might be dumber. It's the rule. I get it. I just think it's dumber, but yes, that's dumb. to do that to another team and get that penalty. I agree. The other one, this one here, sideline warnings, dude, you can't. I don't know. Maybe they should require that front zone to be a different color than the second box, because clearly on that return, our guy steps right in front of the ref. You can't do that, guys.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. We got one of our Big Sky fans here. Ron, thanks for coming back today. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Lonnie.
Ron, what about our secondary now? That was your big question entering the game, man. You were thinking our secondary was going to get blitzed, huh? All right.
I'll hear both Rick Jensen and Chris Howard say it's all Booth on those replays. So
good.
So it must be the headset, like you said. Well, you've been down on the field, so you'd know better than I would.
I just see it on the. I see it on the replay, Chad. So, all right, all right. So predictions wise, Kyle and I both overshot pretty good. Kyle predicted 31-24 Jacks, so not too bad there. And I was 35-27 Jacks. So yeah, neither of us super close on our predictions, but not terrible either. So I'll take it. I'll take being wrong on this. So, all right, Chad, game balls. Let's get that game balls. Perfect.
You're welcome. It's like I've done this before. I think, how many do we get to give away? One offense, one special teams, one defense?
We can do it however we want. Yeah, that's what we usually do.
That's what we usually do. I'm going with, well, this was an excellent game for Mark, so the case could be made.
Yep.
But I'm going with Hines because he was an unexpected difference maker, if you will.
Sure.
You know, we didn't know he was going to have the effect that he had on the game. It's not that the Yankees didn't, or our running backs didn't, or Mark didn't, and Mark obviously is half of the throwing equation. So I'm going to give it to Zach Hines.
All right, and just to recap, Zach had 7 receptions, 127 yards, and 1 touchdown.
What a stud!
Yeah. So I predicted Mark was going to be my player of the game. So I'm giving it to Mark. We already did a recap for him. What a stud. Jim, I want to talk about this. And I want the 605 Hogs for the offensive game ball. Not yet.
I agree. Not yet.
Jim, they
have some work to do.
We've talked about it. They were very good pass blocking. Best game of the season. But the run game still is not there yet. And that's partially timing with the backs and quarterback. But it's a lot with the offensive line as well, in my opinion, and allowing a little too much penetration. And not just from the new guys, it's from our All-Americans as well. So 605 Hogs, not yet, but they're getting closer. So, all right, defensively, I went with the chain gang defensively. I went with position group. The job they did keeping Jason Shelley in the pocket. I do this
all the time. Doesn't make any less of a cop out, but yes, you're right. You're right. Go on.
The chain gang keeping Shelley in the pocket, 187 yards passing, 10 yards rushing, sacked him 4 times, which seemed we should have talked about that it was only 4 actual sacks, that most of the time he was actually getting back to the line of scrimmage, apparently.
Right.
Who knew? Yep. So
he was stepping up in the pocket, and we had another guy there right in his face.
What an effort. I mean, how they twisted and looped and kept him in. The ends never got too far upfield. It just was beautiful. Like Coach Smith and your crew, awesome job. Awesome job.
Golf clap. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I think I'm going to go, since you did the position group, I'm going to take the cop out too. So I'm a hypocrite then, I guess. But I'll take the secondary, because, you know, they were the question mark. They showed out. I mean, outside of the one blown coverage, which may been we don't know who was responsible on that play, but those guys were hitting like trucks. What's so funny? I'm sorry, you totally threw me off with the laugh there. They were hitting like trucks, making good tackles, coming up, making plays, and definitely a difference maker as well.
Yeah,
DePriest. Oh man,
DePriest. Yes, thank you. That's what I was laughing at.
And he didn't land on him, but I think if he would have landed on him, he would have broke his ribs.
Oh,
that
my
was
gosh.
a heck of a hit.
Like,
it wasn't the blind side, but he was looking the other way and
that was just awesome. So funny because everyone had to have had the same reaction. He's one of the biggest players on our team, and just for him to come through so cleanly, and to Shelly have no idea that he was coming was just awesome. Like,
have you met his dad, DePriest's dad?
Once, I think. Yep.
Yeah,
once.
Dude's nowhere near the same size as his son. Like, how did that happen anyway? So yeah, it's cool though.
A ghost,
nice dude. Ghost. Is that his nickname now? The Ghost?
Yeah, right.
I like it. Let's run with it.
That's what I tweeted out. Like, how does a 6'4", 290-pound man become invisible? So
very true.
Yeah. How did he hold on to the ball? I don't. That's
because
he was just sandwich it.
I think he did. Right, because he kind of just shoulder tackled him on the backside. He had the ball over here, and that was the side he hit. So I think it just like pulled the ball into his chest.
Yeah,
but Yep.
Lujan and Rogers game balls for their preparation. Yeah, yep. There's a phenomenal scheme. So, and then special teams we don't always give out, but got to give it to Tyler Feldkamp in my opinion this week. He has caught a lot of flack. From fan base, he's been benched before for some of his decisions, catching punts or not catching punts, letting them bounce, whatever. And he did not do that. He looked awesome. Like he looked great. He was decisive. He looked confident back there catching it. So if we can get that Tyler Feldkamp for the rest of the season as punt returner, I'm no longer worried about our punt return game.
Yeah, I maybe would have liked to see him run a little bit on one or two of them, but I'll take the fair catch any day of the week. Like, I'm not going to complain about it for sure.
Yep.
This made me chuckle just a bit here, Matt, that Ryan Drake said, Shelly was sacked 17 times coming into this game. So this would have been their best effort on the offensive line for the year. And that's funny.
That must have been that new left guard they put in before the game. So
yeah, that's true. That might have had something to do with it. Cause
yeah. So Arkansas skewed that quite a bit. They had 8 sacks.
Yes, they did.
I think it was 5 and 4 the other 2 games. So, yeah. All right. 100% on Feldkamp. Thanks, Garrett. All right. So we did this game balls now. So let's slide in and talk about Western Illinois. Man. So
it's good to have a nice game as a breather following a tough game like this.
Yes.
If we're being honest, let's not take them not seriously, but the record shows they're not. Probably Cal Poly is going to be a way better. Or Cal Poly, my bad. UC Davis is probably going to show out at the end of the year to be a much better team. So, in fact, they might be less challenging than Drake. I think that's probably fair to say.
So the whole goal right now is to not provide bulletin board material.
Yeah, sorry.
So
I'm pretty bad at that.
So no, it's all good. So here's their schedule up to this point. They played Tennessee Martin, who was number 15 in the coaches poll at the time.
True.
And they lost 25-42. They got shellacked at the University of Minnesota 10-62.
Minnesota's good this year.
Yep. And then they lost to Southern Utah, who's not very good again this year, 10-17. And then this last week at home, again, they got drubbed by Northern Iowa, 17-52.
Who hasn't been stellar this year, but I think they're a decent team for sure.
And so Western has a brand new coaching staff again this year. This coach comes from Kansas Wesleyan.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't mean he's not able to coach.
I know.
Western has struggled in years past. They're a storied program. They have the same number of scholarships. I mean, they got players. There's no doubt about that. I just hope that we use this opportunity to maybe if we play the way we played last Saturday, it shouldn't be much. The game should never really be in question is what I should have said. So, and in that case, maybe we can get some other guys out there for some reps, get a little rest because the next stretch of games is going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah.
We need our guys healthy and ready to go.
Yep. So on offense, let's go through some stuff about them. All right. All right. So they have 25 minutes per game time of possession, 21% on third down. They've allowed 10 sacks this year, and they're only scoring 15.2 points per game. About 215 yards per game passing, but they've had 9 interceptions. They've thrown 9 interceptions through 4 games. They've utilized 3 different quarterbacks heavily this year, but the one guy who's kind of rising to the top is Clay Bruno. He's a smaller guy, 5'10", 185, completes 56% of his passes, 386 passing yards, 1 touchdown to 5 interceptions, and he's also a dual threat. 146 gross rushing yards, so in 1 TD. So he's an interesting character if that's who they go with. It sounds like they run listening to some of the UNI stuff. They run a bit more of a normal offense than they have in the last few years under the previous coaching staff, where they were really high flying. It's going to be a bit more balanced, but they just don't have the playmakers. They have a ton of transfers that came in. New running back is Aaron Collins, a Northern Illinois transfer, currently averaging 2.3 yards per carry. And then Ludovic Chovik, we recognize that name from last year, 2.8 yards per carry. So not a huge threat to run the ball. We should, if Kurt Lickis, when he listens to this, he keeps saying the defense is going to get a shutout. This could potentially be the game where they have a shutout. This offense just has not shown much life up till this point of the season. We'll see what they can do. Defensively, they run a 3-4, and here's their stats, the team stats for this: 43.25 points per game allowed, 221 rushing yards per game allowed, 300 passing yards per game. They've only recorded 2 sacks, and they're allowing teams to convert on 40% of their third down opportunities. So there's going to be some opportunities to score some points. They do have a big defensive line, and linebackers, they're led by Chase Graham. He's a JUCO transfer with 34 tackles. But again, just lots of transfers. The 2 interceptions are from the same cornerback, JJ Ross. He's a bigger cornerback. He's 6'2", so 5 pass breakups as well. So he's kind of a bright spot on their defense, I'd say. But the key this week isn't about Western Illinois. Like, I don't even know if I'll do an opponent preview for Western Illinois.
0 penalties.
Yeah, the key is us. The key is us focusing on this. Like you talked about, Chad. Next week's USD. The week after NDSU. The week after that UND.
Indeed. Yep.
3 huge matchups, and then it's Hobo Day after that. So
versus who? Who are we playing on? Who could we ever play on Hobo Day?
That's Indiana State, right?
Give us fits. Yeah, it is Indiana State. It's not. Thank God, not you and I, because they could have lost all their games. Well, they won already, but they could have lost all their games and played us on Hobo Day and give us fits. So
yeah.
So you're saying by your stats that I wasn't way off.
So you're not way off. They haven't shown that anything yet, but again, the team has to be focused this week. It's coming off a huge emotional win over Missouri State, and the potential down the road of 3 really huge games. It's just natural human tendency to look ahead. So I'd love to see us have a huge first quarter, right?
So this would be an excellent point to have a get right game, right? To get our penalties taken care of, to shore up the places where we've been a little bit off, in coverages deep, those kind of things.
Yep. So Randy Jacobs here, good chance to really get the running game on track. Yeah, I think so. If Isaiah's banged up, I'd love to, see him get, one carry, or not one carry, a quarter of carries, and then get some rest if the score allows. Get Angel and Josh Burai, going. So Oh, yeah, Brexton. Thank you. Brexton Roth. Hoping we still have a great game day atmosphere, even with a winless team coming to town. Yes.
Everybody needs to show up.
Yeah. So this is interesting because Chad, talk for a little bit. I'm going to pull up my.
That's fine. I was just going to say it's supposed to be like 75 degrees with light wind. It's going to be a wonderful day. It's always great to tailgate at the Dana, and you can enjoy a brew or two once you're inside the stadium. It seems to have helped attendance. We don't know that for sure, but I mean, without absolute data, the data has shown that we've had more people show up. We've got a great team. We won a game we're supposed to win in the past. Sometimes those games didn't quite go our way. So we need to get behind this team and show them that we can support them when they win and reward them with another 16,000 fan crowd experience. Yeah. I think that's what the goal really should be. Everybody that's been showing up, show up again. It's another great football weather game to experience. It's not going to be cold. It's not going to be miserable. Bring your kids, have a good time.
So this week went into the well and pulled open a graph that I'd created last year with attendance in the Division I era. So dating back to 2006. I don't have it.
Oh, okay.
I can't share it right now. But 2016, the inaugural season in Dana J. Dyko Stadium was our best attended. We averaged just over 15,000 fans. After that, it definitely dipped, with last year coming back up to 14,000, a little over 14,000. We have a chance this year to be close to that 2016 average, but it's going to take this game to have a good attendance. And by good, I don't just mean like 12,000. We got to have 14, 15,000 again to kind of push that average up. So if that matters to you and stuff, all right. Coming from Cheyenne, Wyoming for every home game. Excellent. Christopher, wow. That's dedication, man. So this is a huge opportunity if we want to break the attendance record to do it, because Hobo Day and the USD game are going to be well attended. We know that if the weather's right. And then Illinois State at the end of the season will likely be a game that's around 8,000. But we can try to be even higher after that. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I mean, we got to show out. We got to support this team. That's what it's all about. Yep. More people are getting in the fan experience. The library lots, more jumping. I mean, we're basically fighting for our space at this point. There's some things to be said there, but yeah, we just got more people coming. Let's keep it up. I guess I'm fine with sharing some space if it means we get 16,000 butts in the stadium. The crowd's been into the games. They've been loud when they needed to be. The game day productions have been pretty dang good, I'd say. There's been a couple gripes here and there on language, I suppose, but it's a great experience. Bring a friend.
Yeah. Yep. And that great point. I'm excited to be back out in the backyard. I missed the Butler game. And I heard the atmosphere out in the backyard was really good again, similar to the first week. And so that should be good, just to have some cold ones back there and just enjoy it. It's good weather. So, and students, thank you for the first 2 weeks for what you've been bringing energy-wise. Keep doing it because you've been awesome. So, yeah, you make such a difference down there.
Hopefully we have $10 tickets again, because I think that's helped attendance as well, honestly. That's a heck of a deal, a $10 game. Goodness.
Yeah. All right, let's get into predictions here. And predictions are presented by Culver's for us. And so the B team will talk about this, but this is a chance for a 50 burger game.
50 right? Butter burger.
50 butter burger. There we go.
Butter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is a chance for that. I don't think we do it.
Okay.
Just because our coaching staff doesn't like to do that. And I think that's the only reason it doesn't happen.
Yeah, sure. All right. So what are you saying, Chad? I'm writing this down.
You're writing this down?
Yeah.
42-14.
All right. I'm going to go on this one. I'm going to go 50. We're breaking it. I'm going to go 52-0. We're getting that shutout.
You're going to go get your 50 butter burger after the game and bring your
right.
Skippy tokens with you?
Yeah, right. What about offensive player? Who are you taking?
Isaiah.
Well, okay.
No, let me back that truck up. Isaiah, hopefully, Isaiah would be the guy, but like you said, if all things go right, he only gets a quarter. I'm going to go with Amar.
Dang it. That was mine, Chad. All right.
Sorry.
Cross note Isaiah and Amar. All right. So then if you're taking Amar,
while you're doing that, Chris Howard says he's originally from Blunt, and he makes sure his dad gets there. Dude, that's awesome. Like, what an experience. We only have our parents for so long. I have breakfast with my father every Friday morning, and it couldn't make me more happy. So good on you, man.
Cool. All right. I'm going to go with...
you can pick the same guy. You really
can't. No, I can't. Devin Cole.
All right. I like that. That.
All right. I get to go first on defense then. Defensively, I'm going to go with Dallas Beanham. Defensively.
Nice. I like that. Since you're going with the secondary, I'm going to go with the chain gang. Just see how we flip-flop these things.
Yep.
I'm gonna pick on DePriest. I'm gonna get that kid. He better get fired up because he needs to get a couple sacks so that I'm right.
Yeah, okay.
Do it for me. Don't do it for the team. Do it for whatever you want, but I'd love to see it.
Hey, there we go. All right, so just to recap our predictions presented by Culvers, Chad's predicting 42-14 Jacks. Amar offense, DePriest on defense. Matt has 52-0 with Devin Cole on offense and Dallas Beanham on defense. So there we go. Should be a fun one. I'm just looking forward to being back in the stadium. I am going to wander over and see you guys on Saturday.
You're going to come get the Podfather flag?
I'm not getting a flag.
No, that's Matt's flag, by the way. If y'all haven't come by our tailgate, the Podfather flag is epic. You come look at it. It's pretty awesome. It's Godfather theme, and we bought that flag for him, the B team. So that's yours, buddy. You need to fly that with pride.
Oh gosh,
we love you, Matt. Nothing wrong with that.
I know. I'm not going to fly a flag with my face on it.
Let's talk about that more after this.
All right. Sounds good. Get him a hard hat. Yeah, sounds good, Darren.
Yeah, I can give you a hard hat, but I don't think he's got anything to bang it on where he sits.
Oh, hey, let's pull up Jim's here.
Okay.
So Jim, that's awesome. That's cool.
That is awesome.
My boss at the hospital is a big volunteer for Midwest Honor Flight. He's from that Northwest Iowa area that kind of originated it. So I'll have him look out for you. I'm sure he'll be on it. So, geez, Bylander? No. All right.
Dude, you're hosed on this one. Someone will fly it. We'll just, if you ain't gonna take it, then we'll just have it round robin and it'll fly at different tailgates every
Hey, so we will have a flagpole at our spot finally this year, this week. So that'll be good.
Perfect.
So
put up the Podfather flag. Everybody knows where you tailgate then. They come over and say hi.
Oh my goodness.
It's nothing bad about that.
All right. It's getting pretty deep in here. A couple things. Tomorrow, our sale on our spread shop ends. The link has been posted a little bit in here. So there it is. Just make sure, you don't even have to enter it in. You just have to click redeem deal and then put the stuff in your cart. It automatically calculates it. No code to remember. 20% off. I ordered my stuff last week and it should be here early this week. So it ships fast. So,
and how cool is it that you can customize your gear?
Yeah. Customize your gear.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone for the likes, the shares, the comments. It's kind of crazy how this thing's growing, a little bit ridiculous. If you can, just please subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to the FCS Fans Nation on YouTube as well. That's
their podcasts are excellent.
Grow. So yeah. Yep.
And share it with a friend. There's a lot of people still don't know what we're doing out here. Tyler's sneaking in and he's pretty good at what he does. And so listen to his stuff too. He's got an excellent pod, some insights and some interviews that we don't have. And, we're all for it. More coverage is good.
Yep. And same with the Hair Razor. It's been good having them back this fall.
Absolutely. So, you need to go listen to Phil and Eric. They do an excellent job when their mic's not too hot. And
shade.
Well, it was pretty harsh to listen to that, honestly, but it was worth the listen. Those guys do a great job, and they're good to listen to too. So
yep, awesome. Well, thanks everyone for being here. It's been fun BSing with you.
It's been great.
Yeah, let's have some fun this weekend up down in Brookings. So with that, go big, go blue, go Jacks.